Hey, Mike, guess what?
What?
Mike, raging rivers, hungry bears, drastic avalanches, roaring seas, no matter how prepared you are, a walk in the woods can go from innocent to disaster in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
When pushed to their breaking point, humans are capable of astonishing things that you would never thought of possible.
Yeah.
Listen to In the Wild as they explore the most heroic, terrifying, and phenomenal stories of real people who survived the unsurvivable. Learn what went wrong, what went right, and how you can make it out alive if the worst case ever happened to you. In the Wild podcast reviews on Apple include Love Your Podcast from Laura. It's scary how relentless nature can be. I always enjoy this podcast at work. It keeps me on the edge of my seat. Or how about we go with Hiker 0001? Good stories and good narration. I like when there are sound effects that add to the ambience of the story. In the Wild podcast on Apple Podcasts and everywhere you get your podcast downloads.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading edge topics along with special guests to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us online at techtimeradio.com. Tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to the tweets on the air. You can also check out our new TikTok channel by looking for TechTime Radio on the TikTok app. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host, Mike Raday, is an award-winning author. Originally from Arizona, Mike's a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike helps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Welcome, everybody. Today seems to be another Prime Day special. Did you hear about this? Mike, it's the Prime Early Access from October 11th through the 12th. This is a pre-Black Friday deal, or as I call it, the Jeff Bezos Money Grab 2002 Part 2. Have you even heard of this? So they have now created a fake second holiday. They already created a fake first holiday. This is now a second holiday this year to sell Amazon crap.
With you for years, and you always talk about this stuff.
Yeah, this stuff just bugs the crap out of me. I don't know what's going on, but I cannot understand why we're going to have a second pre-Black Friday deal. But if you can just go to the Amazon homepage, you can click on there and buy a whole bunch of crap at discounts if you're a Prime member only. So I guess we're segregating anybody that's not a Prime member. But with the Rings of Power, I think they have like 80% of America households now that have a Prime subscription. Have you been watching that series?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good series that they put out there. All right. Well, now that we got our Prime Day crap out of the way, I said crap like 8 times.
Okay, all right.
Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, pro-Russian hackers take down U.S. airport sites in a calculated DDoS attack. Artificial intelligence could soon be able to diagnose illnesses, and BMW wants you to stay in your car to play video games once you park. We're also talking about robots with Gwen Way, and this week's technology fail comes to us from Apple with so many ups and downs. In addition, we have our standard features, including Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, This Week in Technology, and a possible Nathan Nugget. Finally, our pick of the day whiskey tasting will end the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. As always, we have our whiskey tasting during the commercials. The CFR selected whiskey pick of the day gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. You're going to want to make sure you listen all the way through to pick up a few interesting facts of whiskey on our Mark's Mumble that'll make you go, Now it's time to start today's headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1, U.S. airport sites taken down by a DDoS attacks by pro-Russian hackers. Now, a DDoS attack is essentially a scale denial of service attack. So this is a specific attack where the pro-Russian hacktivist group Killnet is claiming to take this large-scale distributed denial of service attacks against websites of several major airports in the U.S., making them inaccessible. The DDoS attacks have overwhelmed the servers hosting these sites with garbage requests, making it impossible for travelers to connect and get updates about their scheduled flights or book airport services. Notable examples of the airports that are a part of this hack include currently the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, one of the largest air traffic hubs. The Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, is currently experiencing intermittent offline and slow responses to requests for traffic control information for planes. Other airports returning database connection errors include Chicago O'Hare International, Orlando International Airport, the Denver International Airport, Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, along with some other smaller airports in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Hawaii.
What, no SeaTac?
No SeaTac. You know what? SeaTac's pretty good about their stuff that they have there. I will say that. We kind of live in the technology hub. LAX, I would expect to be just the massive amounts of traffic that they have coming in there, able to probably take off 8 or 9 of their main servers, which probably is insignificant, but could still have a denial of service request with that. Essentially what Killnet has done is they have posted, and what they are sending is they're sending a custom software process that's generating fake requests and garbage traffic directed at the target. So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to keep on refreshing and refreshing to find out information regarding airplanes, luggage, traffic into the airport itself, and by putting thousands and thousands and thousands of requests instead of probably the thousands that they receive in an hour, they're just overloading the server. So the response time is so slow that some people are missing flights, missing connections, and not able to actually book their flights on time. Now, if you go to the airport, the airport is running just fine. It's the software on these systems that tell you the check-in and the baggage claims that are having the problems.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better to do when you're losing a war against a smaller country than to use your hacking groups to pick on.
That's what they have. The U.S. has been pretty much out of the area of fire for a little bit during this time. Essentially, most of the retaliation by the hacktivist groups were targeted in the middle EU area, so the European Union countries that are surrounding it were attacked. But now the hacktivists, pro-Russian, anti-Ukrainian, are essentially trying everything they can to disrupt the United States air traffic control, and they've threatened to go into other areas of mass transportation and cause grief to people.
Okay.
So I guess maybe you're going to go to trains and some subways, I'm sure, are next that they'll try to overload with different stuff. So maybe that L in Chicago, you're going to have to go down there and get your tickets themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty impotent.
Yeah, it is. But speaking about technology and artificial intelligence, I think you have story number 2.
Yeah, okay. Interesting story. Artificial intelligence could be used to diagnose illness based on the sound of your voice. So, yeah. So voices do offer a lot of information. It turns out these folks believe that it can help diagnose an illness, which I guess some researchers are working on this right now. So they use everything from vocal cord vibrations to breathing patterns when you speak because it offers potential information about your health. And this comes from a laryngologist, which is a throat doctor.
Yep.
Who is the director of the University of South Florida's Health Voice Center and a leader on the study. Someone who speaks low and slowly might have Parkinson's disease. Slurring is a sign of a stroke. Scientists could even diagnose or think they can diagnose depression or cancer. team will start by collecting the voices of people with conditions in 5 areas, which include neurological disorders, voice disorders, mood disorders, respiratory disorders, and pediatric disorders like autism and speech delays. This isn't the first time researchers have been using AI to study human voices, but it's the first time data will be collected on this level. The project is a collaboration between the USF, Cornell, and 10 other institutions. The ultimate goal is an app that could help bridge access to rural or underserved communities by helping general practitioners refer patients to specialists. Long term, iPhones or Alexa could detect changes in your voice, such as a cough, and advise you to seek medical attention. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Do I really want Alexa telling me, hey, it sounds like you got a cold? I haven't enough time with her telling me to turn off the television or give me some suggestions now when I ask her for a question.
I'm not really keen on Alexa going, hey, it sounds like you might be having a stroke, when all I've been doing is imbibing a little extra libation. So I have my initial response to this.
And what's your initial response?
It seems rather basic, and the article doesn't really talk about all the other reasons why voice is affected. Voice is affected by not only disease, but it's affected by emotional state. Like I said, whether you're inebriated or not.
So if you're drunk, it may just come on up and you start talking to Alexa, and it'll be like, "Hey, it sounds like you had a stroke.
Sounds like you're having a stroke."
Like, no, I'm just drunk.
Thanks, Alexa, for pointing that out. So, I'm not really. This didn't really pique my interest so much as my initial cynicism.
Cynicism that you don't like it. Well, you know what? Today's episode is going to be interesting because we're going to be talking a lot about some robots coming up here too. So I know that's your favorite subject to talk about. So
hey, let me just clear the air.
What's that?
I don't have a problem per se with robots.
Okay.
I have a problem with how robots are used.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because you're kind of a robot hater, but that's okay. Let's move on to story number 3.
I'm more of an AI hater.
You're an AI hater?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Story number 3. BMW partners with Air Console to bring in-car gaming in 2023. That's right.
I can't wait for this one.
BMW is partnering with a gaming platform, Air Console, to bring a collection of single and multiplayer games to new vehicles, starting with the BMW 7 Series next year. Air Console is a part of the BMW Startup Garage, the company's incubator for new tech that can be used in future vehicles. The automaker said Air Console's platform fits perfectly with BMW's curved display and demonstrates the company's ability to rapidly integrate third-party applications into the vehicle itself. Games will run directly inside the vehicle's entertainment system and be delivered to vehicles over the air. BMW's 7 Series sedan currently, which the company launched in April, already entertains riders with this 31.3-inch 8K theater screen with built-in Amazon Fire TV. Now, Air Console games can only be accessible if the car is parked and therefore impossible to play, if the vehicle is in motion for passengers' own safety, a BMW spokesman said. Players will need to have a smartphone to play, which will serve as the controller, and a connection between the phone and the car will be established by scanning a QR code in the vehicle. So you're telling me, okay, what are we becoming now? I'm going to be driving somewhere, and instead of going in the house to play with my entertainment console, now I'm going to sit in my car, drain the battery, and I'm going to play video games in the passenger seat?
Well, I suppose if you were a pimp, that would be something to do.
Something to do? What do you... Okay, I didn't think about that.
Well, I was thinking, so instead of actually having the car in like an idle mode and then have it, you know how like the old Mario Kart had the fake steering wheel and pedals. Yeah. Instead of having the car in an idle mode that it connects to it and you use the steering wheel.
Now that would be a pretty cool game.
I understand that.
No, you still got to use your phone as a controller.
That doesn't make any sense then. There's no reason to do that.
If you're going to be in your car to play video games, that's crazy.
You know, I guess there's several things, aside from the pimp comment, there's Uber. Okay. If you're going down to the airport and waiting on a passenger coming in from a flight that's not being DDoSed,
Yeah.
Is your
You know,
car
you
on
could
that whole time?
you could be sitting there playing video games instead of.
So I don't have a Switch in my
reading a
pocket,
book.
and I pull out my Switch, and I can play it on the battery that will last for 4 to 8 hours without having to worry about draining down my car battery.
I don't really understand the concept because if I'm a passenger and I'm driving down a freeway on a road trip and I'm bored as all get out.
That's when I'd want to play
I can't play a video game until the car is parked. I can get out my phone and play a video game.
I don't know, whatever.
You know,
okay.
I don't really understand. that.
BMW has so much money to.
But then, again, this is the
go
same
around.
thing as not dial-up service, but these subscription services for seat warmers and other.
Yeah,
BS
so like
that-
you're pay to have
It's just
accessories
worthless
in
at
your
this point.
in your deal. All right, well, story number 4. Speaking of useless, how about watching the Meta Connect 2022? That's right. Today, Mark Zuckerberg makes his passionate plea that the metaverse is a real thing and a valid next big business for Meta. Now, today on Facebook, you could be watching this. Not right now because we're
Did you
on
watch
the radio.
it? Are you watching?
I
it?
watched a little bit of this. Oh,
Was he
my gosh.
impassioned?
Hang on. The annual Meta Connect Developer Conference kicked off with a keynote by Mark Zuckerberg. Sleep, snore. Later on, John Carmack, co-founder of the video game company ID Software, who is the lead programmer for such successful games like Commander King, Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Quake, and their sequels. Essentially, in 2013, he resigned from ID Software to work fully on the Oculus VR as their CTO and
I
giving
feel like
it
that's
chat.
id software.
So,
id.
so essentially, he's working on the Oculus VR. Now, he's given a speech, and I didn't see his speech, but I'm going to have to watch it because it'll be awesome because he's kind of an he works for Meta. He gets paid by Meta, but he can't really stand Zuckerberg, and he can't really stand Meta, so he'll like slam them in the stuff that he's working on. But since he's so well in the VR world, you really can't fire him, and he's such a leader in that area that it's a very interesting deal. So I have to watch this. But if you also want to watch it, all you got to do is go and visit Facebook. Type in, of course, the Meta Connect 2022 after our show, and you can see everything they have, including the new pro-level VR headset wearable that Facebook is going to try to sell for over $1,000 for people to be a part of their virtual world.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Can I
so
use
this
that
is,
while I'm driving a car?
well, this is make it or break it because right now, essentially, they announced the revenue, and both Facebook and Instagram are now costing the company money to run instead of making money for the company. So if he doesn't get this thing in a kickoff pretty square in the pants where everybody says, yes, I want to come on in, they're going to be having some very
I don't know, with all these
large
studies
troubles
coming-
moving
I
forward.
don't know, with all these studies coming out that actually newer generations are really not all that interested in virtual environments. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, I don't know either. And the augmented reality
Because-
stuff is still kind of a gray area. People are like, I can live with it. I can live without
the
it.
millennial generation, which is so hot for VR, they are limited in scope. So
Yep. All right. Well, up next we have. Do you have a comment there?
Well, I wanted to bring up the fact like MySpace and whatever other social media did they just die off?
Yeah.
Just
So
plain and simple?
MySpace was
MySpace is still there.
So MySpace is still there,
Yeah.
but it hit literally a saturation point, and then within a 3-month turmoil where they were having problems with, they went from hundreds and thousands of users down to thousands.
And
of
that was
users.
because of
That's
Facebook,
because
right?
That was
Facebook
because of
came
Facebook.
Okay. So now that Facebook and Instagram are dying,
Yep.
they're still trying to make it a company that's worthwhile.
Correct. So Meta is like their next
So-
bet.
Okay, so they can't just die off like MySpace in this sense.
Well, that's what they're worried about. So I think they're thinking that Meta in the
Okay.
new VR world is the new world that they're going to want to transition to.
Okay.
Because Facebook is in jeopardy. There's a lot of other alternatives out there that people
Well,
are using.
I just think of it as like when I was in
Not Trump Social, though.
when I was in middle school, I wanted to jump on Facebook, and like it was just something that you want to get on eventually. But I have a younger brother who's like 12. He has no interest in that kind of thing at all. And
No,
I just-
TikTok is going to destroy Facebook
Yeah.
and Meta, and because their Instagram alternative is
Yeah.
so much better, and people
but
are
Facebook
using that.
just doesn't allow itself to die, which I understand. You don't want your company to die, but
Correct.
it's dead.
Well, yeah.
I hate
We'll
to say
see.
it.
We'll see. I made a prediction where I got
Yeah,
four
we'll
four
see.
years
We'll
and
see what
6
happens.
months left to go. All right. Well, we're going to move on. Up next, we have our segment Gadgets and Gear with our producer Gwen Way. We also have a story that we did not cover last week that we'll be covering today, so you don't want to miss this. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Did you know for every $1 spent on email marketing, you receive $36 in return? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's all so complicated. All those advanced tools and features, you don't know how to approach them at all.
What if there was an email marketing platform where you don't have to rack your brains to get started? A tool that's not overloaded with unnecessary features you don't want to pay for, and, believe it or not, has a support team available 24/7, even on the free plan.
There is a solution, Mike. Let me introduce you to Sellzy, a tool that makes email marketing as easy as 1, 2, 3. With Sellzy, you can launch your first campaign in 15 minutes. No coding required. A very easy to use, intuitive email builder with over 300,000 gifts and stickers to choose from, and 500,000 plus free stock images, a customizable countdown timer, and more. Create emails for any business goal, from e-commerce to nonprofits. Easily create automated email sequences for your business.
Get 24/7 support via chat, email, and phone, even on the free plan. Sellzy has just launched a special deal. You can now get a lifetime access to all Sellzy features for just $49. All the core features, unlimited emails, automation, segmentation, advanced analytics for the price of 10 lattes.
Sellzy is the easiest way to start selling with emails. Try it now. Click the link in this episode description on TechTime Radio to get that special deal.
No commissions or hidden fees.
To learn more information, visit them at the simple and easy site to remember. Just go and visit Sellzy.com. That's SELZY.com. The easiest way to send emails.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is the hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break. Now let me tell you about what we are sipping and our pick of the day. During the show today, we have chosen the Rough Rider Bull Moose Triple Barrel Rye Whiskey. Wow, they wanted to make sure they got every name they could on the title of that. It's 28.49, 90 proof. This rye whiskey is aged in 3 different casks to yield complexity and richness. The journey begins in new American oak barrels, where small batch rye whiskey takes on spice and sweet cinnamon flavors. Under a watchful eye, the whiskey is moved to bourbon casks, where rye and the bourbon flavors blend together. The final maturation occurs in barrels that previously held the distillery's Pine Barrens single malt whiskey. This rye brings forward vanilla, warm oak, apple with a toasty flavor, and a velvety finish. What do you think of the whiskey so far, Mr. Gourdet? Does it have that oak and that apple toasty taste?
Well, I'm not really a rye fan, but this one's actually pretty good. It's got a substantial apple flavor without it being overwhelming, so I can taste it.
Okay.
Finish is nice. It doesn't last very long.
It's 28.49 again, so it's under 30. So that's, I wouldn't consider that a value. I consider the $19 the value whiskeys, right? But this is a sipping whiskey.
Value meaning cheap.
It's cheap. There you go. Okay, it's 90 proof, so it has a little bit of kick. I am the company that puts this out is Long Island Spirits. They're in Long Island, New York. It is a 93% Long Island mash bill is what they have on there, and then it has 70% malted barley. So I don't know. I kind of like the taste myself.
It's not bad.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this one.
All right. Well, now that we got our whiskey out of the way, we have Gwen Way ready to talk about this month's gadget and gear. Let's get ready to go.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, extraordinaire Gwen Way, welcome to the show. We're excited to have her back on. It's always this great time of the holiday when you kind of go from the summer into the fall, and let me tell you, gadgets
this is where you spend most of your money, I think.
I did.
I mean, not wrong.
And you know what? If you spend $299 and then you want to get this by Christmas, you may be spending almost $300 evenly to get it by Christmas. But before we do that,
can you get it by Christmas?
Well, that's what they said. We'll take a look at it. Gwen, tell me a little bit about the item that we have here.
Okay. So Nathan and I are of a certain age where we always wanted robot dogs.
Yes.
It's just how it is. I may have found us a robot dog that we can get for other people and then accidentally keep one for ourselves.
That's exactly what I'm thinking too. Okay, so tell us about this, because let me tell you, when the Sony, the Obidi or Abi, I think it was the Abi.
I don't know. You were butchering that last night.
Yeah,
too.
well, essentially, Sony came out with the ERS 1000 entertainment dog, right? And that was like $3,000 to get. I was working at Microsoft at the time. I almost bought like 2 of these because they were so cool. I wanted to have one of these dogs. Now you can get them on eBay for about $1,000. But I think this is a better device, a newer device, and it's so much more cheaper. So tell us about what we got here, Gwen.
Agreed. So if you go to my personal favorite, Kickstarter.com, gotta love it,
Yep.
and look up Loona, Loona, you see the most adorable little robot that utilizes Amazon Lex, related to Alexa. Sorry, Mike, I hate to tell you this, but it is a conversational AI. So you have to kind of deal with that a little bit.
Well, as long as it's not diagnosing me with cancer because I've been drinking or whatever, that's fine.
I don't think it will do that. It might be able to actually bring you a drink in the future. They're adding on a home assist that will basically allow this little robot dog, starting next April, to do everything that Alexa does. You know, dim your lights, turn up the music, whatever you want it to do. So it's pretty exciting.
Okay, so it's
Is it going to talk? Is it going to talk to me in the middle of the night like Alexa does sometimes?
Well, so tell us a little bit about all the features on this dog that it has, because I watched the video like 8 times. So tell us some of the cool items that are here, Gwen.
It's amazing. So first of all, it has facial recognition. So when it gets to know your face, it will view as owner, whatever you want to call it. We'll go with owner. It has body detection, so it can follow you around or it can move to avoid you. The video that Nathan is mentioning has a great little dance that a little girl does with the robot. It also can recognize gestures. You can train it to, you know, do the whole dog sit, stay, all of that kind of stuff as well.
And you know what you don't have to worry about?
Well, I don't
you
know.
don't have to pick up on it. It doesn't eat food.
Hey,
it doesn't make a mess in your house.
That's what's cool about it. I mean, I enjoy this kind of stuff.
Well, it'll go back to its own charger.
Yep,
It's like
you can
a
get a
Roomba.
charger for $30 and it will actually put itself on its charger. It goes to sleep.
So kind of like a Roomba.
This is actually a pretty cool little thing. I would go for something like this.
Now, it also has a camera built into. Listen to this. The camera built into it. I can access it remotely from work, and I can move it anywhere in my house, like a little controller, like you would have like a RC car, and I can go down the hallway, and I can have the camera look up and look down, look left, look right, and I can have it all as a part of a surveillance. It can have a programmed bark.
Your voyeuristic slip is showing, buddy.
I mean, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I think that's the interesting piece. That's what you were all. I'm like, okay.
Well, that'd be cool though.
This is. I'm not so much interested in the whole seeing what's going on in my house when I'm not there piece, but you know,
scaring the cats. Yeah.
The interaction and interactivity of it. I would be afraid that it would not like my personality, that it avoided me instead of, you know.
So it develops it. Well, it actually has a bunch of AI. You want to explain some of the AI functions that it has with this too, Gwen?
Sure. So, like I said, it uses Amazon Lex, which is a conversational AI, similar to the one that is found in Alexa. So what it can do is it can learn commands that you give it. It can learn your facial expressions and learn to read your mood. So if you're having a bad day, it can, you know, come over and kind of give you comfort. It can run away. It can play with you if you're feeling playful. All kinds of fun things like that.
It even tracks down a ball.
Yep.
And a laser.
You can play fetch.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the video too, man.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah, so it is amazing.
This is something I have no problem with. So calling me a robot phobe or whatever is really not accurate here.
Okay, so now when they started this campaign, I think they had a goal of, I don't know, was it 10,000, 20,000 or something?
20,000. They hit 2.2 million.
$2.2 million has been backed this.
Well, they've got almost 6,000 backers. But you do still have 18 days to go. So you've got a little bit of time. Right now, for the early bird special that you were talking about, the $2.99, they've got 45 still available at that.
Oh, 72 this morning when I signed up for mine.
I know.
Oh, wow.
You also
bought
have
30
the
of 'em?
ability, if you want, to spend an extra $65 to get it delivered by Christmas. And if you do that, they will include a Christmas costume that has like little antlers for Luna.
And if they reach some of their goals, you'll even have a special costume to turn it into a little dinosaur dog.
Wait.
What?
So we haven't even seen the proliferation of robot pets, and we're already dressing them up like humans. What's going on?
Of course.
Well, that is just life with a pet, man.
That is
Agreed.
That is
Agreed.
just attached.
I'm gonna carry it around. Can I carry it around in a purse?
Yeah, it literally fits in the purse itself. They
Like a
actually,
little car stroller.
yeah, you can actually put it in your purse and you could take it with you, and then you could get on the airplane that you couldn't book today because of the
all the
hackers.
DDoS stuff?
But when you decided to go to the airport, you could say it was a companion pet and that you needed it for some type of
Emotional support
And
animal.
Yeah.
Emotional-
And 3
emotional
pounds.
sport
It's
tech.
2.42 pounds, so it's easy to carry around. So yeah, you're set.
All right, that is correct. Now we're gonna move on, and Gwen's gonna stay on. So that is it. So let's again. This is called Luna, Loona. It's the most intelligent pet bot. She's so playful and affectionate, you'll forget she's a robot.
Adorable.
$2 million has been pledged. Go to Kickstarter and look for Luna, unless you're my wife, because we already bought some, so don't order any more at home. All right, there you go.
Mrs.
All right.
Bum, just order double. It'll be fine.
Okay, all right. All right, Mike and Gwen, speaking about robots, how would you feel about a robot waiter taking your order and bringing your food to you? A robot waiter minimizes human contact in a Portland area Bristol. The Bristol Royal in Beaverton, Oregon, can now, thanks to Milo, bring and take your food away by pushing his buttons. Most servers wouldn't like that, but Milo is different, some said. He's very futuristic. The restaurant uses autonomous robots like Milo to limit contact between staff and customers.
Why?
People have reached favorably to using Milo, said Calvin Mint, who is the co-owner of the Bristol Royale. The restaurant began using the robot late in August of last year.
It's a bistro.
Bistro, yeah. Mint and his wife Poe first opened the Bistro Royale in March of last year when the coronavirus pandemic was at its all-time high. Essentially, they have a robot that will deliver your food, take care of cleaning up after you, and does all your delivery service for you. They think that the robots Milo, Navi, and Beast, they have 3 of them, all use essentially robotic instruments to move from table to table to make sure that they have the items they need to provide guests with the customer's expectation of standard service. Despite the love for machines, Mint makes it clear that he does not think that these are going to replace human servers, but he does think that this is a way to have a unique robot restaurant deliver your food. So let me ask you this, since we're talking about robots, would you go to a restaurant where robots delivered you food and you had no interaction with humans?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
All right,
I
Gwen, how
wouldn't
about you?
I wouldn't mind going and checking it out. Like, it probably wouldn't be my first choice, but it could be interesting.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what I would be very interested. There was I grew up in the Seattle area, and there was a restaurant that used to deliver a bunch of food on a train set. So they had a big train set. It was called the Iron Horse.
I had a friend that we had an idea that we could build a little restaurant thing where we could deliver things on little remote control boats.
Little remote control boats. So it was really interesting to get the food from the train when it came on up. But I still like that interaction with a human. I don't know if I would ever be okay. You know, you see kind of the Back to the Future where they have
I have
max
bad
header
news
motor in
for
it.
you.
Yeah?
You-
What's that?
You might be human.
I might be human?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
If you want to have that human interaction, you might actually be a human.
Okay, I might be human.
One
That's a
of
great
us.
That's a
One
great
of
question
us.
for us to ask in Mike's mesmerizing moment. Why are we all excited about robots now as a people? Okay, all right. Well, Gwen, do you have anything else for us?
No, but I can tell all of our listeners you need to tune in next month. I've got something very big coming that I think is going to be very popular.
I think it will be, too. It will be fantastic. All right, well, that ends our segment. Gadgets and Gear. Gwen, thank you so much for being a part of this. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a good time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we will be doing so during our break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you heard of Unidragon.com?
Yeah, isn't that the puzzle people?
It is. They are the largest manufacturer and sellers of wooden puzzles in the world. Let me tell you about it. They have tons of designs, all listed at $29.95 on their website at Unidragon.com.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. I really like the owl one.
All of these are laser cut to perfection. Instead of those old traditional puzzles that you get that are done on cheap cardboard backings, these are all done with wood cutouts, laser cut. And the images, instead of the standard jigsaw puzzle, actually include different animals within the puzzle itself to put together.
It's like those big collages where they have faces that turn into Empire State Buildings and stuff.
That's correct. Absolutely. You like the charming owl?
Well, I really like the owl.
And right now, there's a special going on for any TechTime Radio listeners. If they put in the code DRAGONTech, they'll receive 10% off until June 1st, 2021.
That's cool. I'm going to put an order in today.
And of course, my favorite, the Inspiring Unicorn. Are you going to get the fox, or are you going to get the dragon, or the fish? What are you looking to get?
No, man, I'm going to get the owl.
You're going to get the owl, not the serious panda?
No, the owl. It's all about the owl, man. I'm a night owl.
You're a night owl. You are a night owl. Visit Unidragon.com today and make sure to put in Dragon Tech as your code to receive 10% off. And remember...
Yeah, those are really cool. I really like the owl.
Mike likes the owl.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going all the way back to October 10th, 1980. Midway releases Pac-Man, the video game, to North American arcades. In contrast, the Japanese release under Puckman occurred earlier that year in May. Fans of the 2010 cult classic comic book-inspired film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World might already know this, but Pac-Man's original name was Puckman. Like Scott fanatically says on the movie, the character's name comes from the Japanese expression of paku paku, which is closely translated to gobble gobble. Now, legend has it the U.S. military purchased early game units from Japan and transported the games onto ships and military bases for morale, but soon had a problem as the game's name from Puckman was vandalized to change that P into an F. The game's popularity didn't take off until being released in the United States. Midway manufacturer released the game in North America as a part of a licensing agreement with Namco America. As a result, Pac-Man will become the first actual mega-hit video game in history, sparking Pac-Mania fever and catapulting the video game industry
you remember that.
Into mainstream culture.
Wait, how old were you when Pac-Man came out?
1980, I would have been 9 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old.
Okay, so
I remember it.
You remember the song Pac-Man Fever?
Oh, yeah, everybody dancing around with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
But-
I think Pac-Man is probably what set up the whole arcade.
That and Donkey Kong. I think both of those two, Donkey Kong and Pac-Man. I think
I think Pac-Man was the solid start of the arcade generation that came out of that.
Well, just think if you had a Pac-Man.
Because nobody had a freaking song
Correct.
attached to it.
That's true.
Which was on the charts.
It was on the charts.
So,
And they had tons of movies that have talked about Pac-Man and Legends and different stuff. They had that Pixels movie where it actually came out, and there was a Pac-Man chasing the ghosts. The ghosts all have names. There's Blinky. I don't know
What
all
are they?
of them.
What are they?
I know
Come on.
Blinky's one of them. Do you know the names of all the ghosts?
Blinky, Clyde, Speedy, I think is one.
I think okay. What's the last one?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's
Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde.
Oh, there you
Blinky,
go.
Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde.
There you go. All right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history? With over 2 hours of video podcasts and blog information, you can visit us at techtimeradio.com. To watch our older shows or join our Tech Timers Facebook group, talk with us all the time. We're going to take a commercial break, but when we return, we have Mark's Mumbles Whiskey Review and our technology fail of the week that you do not fail of the week that you do not want to miss. We'll see you after this break.
TechTime Radio is brought to you today by Nutility, the platform that makes utility management seamless by selecting your service providers, splitting a single bill amongst roommates, and then shutting off your service when it's time for you to move out. Nutility reviews your preferences and sets up all the utilities for you. This provides you with the best local provider in your service area. It's much easier than splitting up your bills between roommates. No more late Larry not being able to get to you on time to make the payments, and no more Venmo charges or PayPal charges. One place to do your billing so that everybody pays on time. Now, how can you use this great service from Nutility, you ask? Aha! Well, you can absolutely get it now and get 3 months for free. That's correct. If you go to Nutility.com, again, it kind of sounds like utility, but it's Nutility.com. Use the tech code 3, and again, that's NUTILITI.com. Get your first 3 months for free using the code TECH3. From experts in technology to an expert in whiskey. Now is our segment for you whiskey connoisseurs. Welcome to the Mark Mumble of the Week.
All right, Mark, thank you for the mumble. Here we got right now the National Spread Joy Day. Did you know that? Observed
Yeah,
on
I'm spreading a lot of joy today, I'll tell you.
Observed on October 11th, National Spread Joy Day is a day to kick negativity to the curb and spoil your friends and family with a thoughtful deed. Maybe even share a little whiskey with them. Or as I'll do, I'll take you out to dinner after the show.
I don't know if that's spreading joy or
I haven't said this whiskey would be
spreading medication because
why is that?
toxic positivity.
All right. Let's see the Mark Mumble. This rye is named for the homage of Teddy Roosevelt. In 1898, Teddy Roosevelt, a native Long Islander, organized the United States' first voluntary cavalry, known as the Rough Riders.
Rough Riders.
Long Island Spirits is located just miles from the Rough Riders area where they quarantined and then disbanded following the victory in the Spanish-American War. In a legendary summer that had in Motoc Point, after serving an assassination attempt, Roosevelt reportedly said it takes more than that to kill a bull moose. Hence, the name of the Long Island Spirits rye was born, and now we have the Bull Moose. Triple barrel rye whiskey. The rye is easy to sip. It's simple, which is expected of a whiskey of its age, but it doesn't have the harsh qualities sometimes found in other young spirits. Absent from this rye is some of the qualities more traditional ryes may have, that it may be enjoyed with those who tend to prefer bourbons or eschew rye for its more traditional qualities.
Well, that explains it.
Mark is curious what Mike thinks, as Mike is generally not a rye lover. So what do you think?
Oh, this one's a good one. I enjoy this one.
It is
This one
pretty
I would have in my cabinet.
In your cabinet? Yeah,
Yep.
it does have a very, it's very smooth. I could have this a little bit of ice sitting out on the deck and just kind of enjoying a summer sunset go on down. That would be very enjoyable. A little cigar on the side, and I'd be just
like
in
you
my
do
happy
any
place.
of that.
All right. Well,
It'd be more like slugging a shot after
winning.
winning the final match in your what do you call it? Video game.
My video game stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know where you're going with that, but maybe the rye whiskey's getting
I
to you a
don't
little
know.
early.
Okay.
All right, Mark, thanks for that mobile. Mike, now it's time for us to move to our technology fail of the week, brought to us by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, this week's technology fail comes to us from Apple, specifically the new Apple devices, including the new iPhone 14. Don't forget an iPhone, or don't take an iPhone to King Island Amusement Park outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, as many of the roller coaster rides trigger new iPhone's emergency calls. According to the Wall Street Journal, the plummeting rides have activated the iPhone's crash detection system. The feature was introduced in the new iPhone 14, the Apple Watch Series 8, the Ultra, and SE with the latest OS update. Apple told the newspaper the technology is intended to provide peace of mind and will continue to improve over time. Although a new feature on the iPhone, the crash detection system, recently demonstrated its utility in alerting emergency services to a fatal accident in Nebraska. In a recording of one of the calls obtained by the newspaper, an automated message on the iPhone can be heard saying the owner of the iPhone was in a severe car crash and is not responding to their phones. The sound of the amusement park is audible in the background of this call. Roller coaster news site Coaster 101 noted that Dollywood, a theme park partially owned by country music performer and campaigner Dolly Parton, also warned riders of the risk of false alerts. Signs at entrance of two of the park's most intense roller coasters warned riders that Apple Watches and other similar devices should not be taken on the ride, as they could trigger the collision detection feature and cause an unintended emergency call. So don't plan on having your new iPhone with you to capture a picture at these parks. Cheers come from all Android users that love roller coaster, as this feature's been around for over 2 years on most Android phones without
crash collision?
issues.
Well, that's kind of, I don't know. That's sort of a kind of an interesting prospect that we have.
Well, this crash detection is bad.
Feature on things that we carry around with us all the time.
So this motorcyclist had this crash detection. He had a circle of friends that would be alerted if he had an issue. So he's going down the freeway. His phone comes out of his pocket itself.
Exactly.
And
that's
it
the
crashes
problem.
on the ground.
If I have a rage incident and throw my phone against the wall.
I think you have to have the speed of the bike going too, though, right? So you'd have to have the speed going. But essentially, all of his circle friends were alerted that he had passed away and that he's no longer on this thing, saying that he'd probably had a fatal crash. They could not get access to his phone.
Yeah,
he's at the store buying a new phone.
This seems to me to be misappropriated technology.
Okay.
I just don't see this as being appropriate for this type of quote-unquote peace of mind stuff that is quoted here. So
on this feature, you add your friends that will be alerted to this.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add everybody, and then I'm going to chuck my phone out of a driving thing, and everybody's going to be like,
going up to the Space Needle. You go up to the Space Needle, and your phone accidentally slips out, and all of a sudden it says,
yeah,
this
but
person's no longer here.
On top of that, if this is alerting a 911 service, if there's
is.
a bunch of people that's riding roller coasters and it's constantly acting the 911, what happens to the actual necessary 911 call?
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I mean, the 911 operators have to treat every call as
this
an
is one
emergency.
of the problems I have with some of this idea of technology being appropriated for different reasons.
So don't have an iPhone 14. Keep your iPhone 13, because I guess they know how to do that well in the iPhone 13.
I don't know, maybe,
or have an Android phone, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, we're going to head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, brought to us by Story Coffee, and a Nathan Nugget of the Week, along with our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon the Book Depository, and more.
Welcome back to Tech Time. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to get our highlighted segment of the day with our Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, brought to us by Story Coffee. Mike, here is your mesmerizing moment question I have for you today.
Where's my mesmerizing music?
Oh, well, you know what? I guess we should probably go to that first. You want to go to that?
Of course.
Okay, so let's go to it.
I need my fanfare.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
Okay, that's better.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Why do we want robots to be companions for us? So explain that to me.
Why do we want robots?
Yeah, go back to that.
We don't actually
Jetsons,
want
right?
robots.
Yeah, Rosie
we don't actually want robots.
What do we want?
So as human beings, we want social connection to other human beings.
Okay.
However, in the absence of that, we will anthropomorphize other things in order to get connection.
A big word. What does that mean?
That means that we will apply human traits to other things in order to get that social connection.
Okay.
One of the most widely recognized ways that I can exemplify this is the movie not Outcast. Tom Hanks and Castaway.
Okay.
Yeah, Castaway, where he
Wilson
anthropomorphizes Wilson, and Wilson actually becomes a social connection. So we need social connections. We have to have it. It's part of our. It's embedded in our DNA. If we don't have it, we will make it happen. Now, one of the things that I think is interesting about our current level of technology and social situations is that we will anthropomorphize inanimate objects over human beings because it lacks the complexity of another human being.
Okay, so like playing video games instead of having a conversation with
not so much the escapist qualities of a video game, but anthropomorphizing a robot, for instance, gives us a level of distance from a complex human interaction that we wouldn't normally have, and allows us to get what we need from that without having to give back. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So
we start with robot animals, right?
It's not that we want robot. It's just that we tend to do this anyway, and robots being sort of a unique thing that's coming out, and there's a lot of this, oh, cool, that's cool, kind of thing. It sort of plays into all this idea of being able to connect emotionally to something that we can and essentially we can control that.
Okay, that makes
emotional
sense.
response.
Makes sense.
So that's why you see people that have emotional connections and even marrying
robots,
inanimate objects and sex dolls and things like that.
Okay, all right. Wow. Okay.
That wasn't meant to be funny, but we do that all the time.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, now we're going to move on to our Nathan Nugget of the week.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
Oh, you have your own fanfare. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Hang on. So take a look at this. This is called the M Classic, okay? So PC gamers can upgrade their graphic cards at any time when a new card comes on out. But console gamers have been limited to hardware built into a system, but not anymore. The M Classic is the world's first and best add-on for graphic processors and video game consoles. This is perfect as it has 3 switches on the device. It has a processing off, processing on, and retro mode. Great for old school Xbox original consoles, Dreamcast, Super Nintendo, and etc. Grab the link at the top of our website to get this deal of the week from TechTimeRadio.com. Now, I am paid nothing for this card itself.
Well, okay, I want to know something here.
Yes.
Can I use this to upgrade my laptop, my gaming laptop?
No. It does not work on it does not work on gaming laptops.
Then I don't want it.
So the gaming laptops, when you buy your video card, you're kind of stuck. If you buy a PC, if you get a desktop, you get a video card, you can replace that. But when you have an old school, let's say you had an old school Sega Dreamcast, you had an old school Super Nintendo. When you plug this device on the back of it, and then you have the cable that goes into your television, what it does is it takes those edges, on the video games where it's really blocky. When they first came out with the first 3D stuff, everything was really blocky, and you'd see corners, and everything was not really smooth. What it does is it has an additional processing power where it goes through before that video actually gets onto the screen, and it smooths out the edges on everything so it looks crystal clear. It is amazing. If you have an original Xbox or a Dreamcast, two units I've been working on.
I have all of those.
Okay, I've been working on these. It's about $100 on Amazon. It is called the M Classic. There's a lot of other Japanese versions that are out there that are trying to imitate this. You need the M Classic. It's from Marseille, Marseille, and it turns all your graphics. It's amazing. It makes them look like they're new school graphics that are available. So there you go.
When they come out with one that'll help me with my laptop, I'll be on that one like stink on a skunk.
All right, there you go. Okay, now we're going to move into our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, today we are tasting the Rough Rider Bull Moose Triple Barrel Rye Whiskey. It's 28.49, 90 proof. Again, this is rye whiskey. You're not a big rye whiskey fan normally, Mike.
Normally, I am not.
So tell me, what did you like about this? If you're going to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, let us know what you got.
I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. Mark hit it on the head. The way they distill this and move it from barrel to barrel, it gives it a kind of a bourbony taste, and it takes away a lot of the harshness of a rye whiskey.
Rye whiskey. So, all right, Odie, we'll go to you next.
I mean, if I didn't take it all in one go, I would probably like it.
Yeah. You kind of.
I do like it now.
It's kind of
after
a
it sat in
it's
my,
a sipping whiskey. It wasn't just shot whiskey, right?
Yeah,
that would have been great to know because it burned.
Yeah, you slugged
hell.
it.
Yeah.
You didn't need to slug it. This is a good sipping whiskey. I like this.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up also. So it's got 2 thumbs up by us. It's a great whiskey
Ooh,
for
3.
3 thumbs up. That's
Yeah.
right. Everybody liked it, and that's great because a lot of times I go out and buy this whiskey, and you guys say it's not very good.
That's
There
because you buy bottom shelf whiskey all
Yeah,
the time.
exactly.
All right. Well, for all of you out there that are trying to get your Prime deals right now, if you want to buy an Apple Watch Series 8, they're on sale for $349 at your Prime Early
Yeah,
Access
just don't go on
deal.
a roller coaster.
If you want the best Fitbit deal, it's $170 out there right now on all these sales. I don't know why Amazon has a Prime Early Access sale. I don't know what the heck that's for, but you know what? They keep on making money hand over fist, so congratulations to them. Well, that ends our show
That's because
today.
they're not trying to build a fake world.
That's right. That's like meta. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.